Hello everybody, this is Gareth Cahoon Speaks back here with another video. I'd like you to hit the subscribe bar, give me a thumbs up if you like the video, or hit the notification bell to be notified when I post my next post. Or otherwise you can look me up on my website, which is www.garethcahoon.co.uk. Or if you like the ministry and would like to support it, you can do so through PayPal garethcahoon3 at gmail.com. This one is just to let you know a wee bit about the leader that the Iranian people are calling for to return and lead their nation, who is Reza Pahlavi, son of the Shah deposed during the 1979 Islamic Revolution and a leading voice for the protests. As protests in Iran have grown since they began on December 28th, when shop owners and bazaar merchants in Tehran closed their stores in protest over the country's worsening economic situation. One name has been heard repeatedly both inside and outside Iran: Reza Pahlavi. Pahlavi by, has often been viewed by Westerners as little more than a curiosity, a man who continued to talk about the future of Iran after the end of the Islamic Revolution, at a time when the Islamic regime seemed firmly in power. However, over the past few protests in Iran, Pahlavi's name has been heard more frequently when he issued a call on social media for the Iranian people to take to the streets last Thursday and Friday night to show the regime how many people were tired of the Islamic Republic's rule. Hundreds of thousands of Iranians answered, showing up for hours despite intensifying crackdown efforts by the regime. Many of those who demonstrated shouted the name of Reza Pahlavi or the phrase Javed Shah, long live the Shah. But who is Reza Pahlavi, the exiled crown prince who has lived most of his life outside of Iran? He was born in Tehran on October 31st, 1960, the eldest son of Shah Mohammad Reza Pahlavi, and was originally named Crown Prince in 1967 during his father's coronation ceremony. While Pahlavi's father is widely credited with modernising Iran and making the country more Western in many economic, technical, and social spheres, in the final decades of his reign, the Shah also took increasingly repressive steps to suppress opposition. His intelligence agency SAVAK became notorious for torturing dissidents suspected of conspiring against the monarchy. Amid fluctuating oil prices during the OPEC embargoes and growing domestic unrest, an alliance of Marxist leaning students groups and hardline Shiite clerics called mullahs eventually led to the revolution that would overthrow the Shah. Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi, then a cadet in the Imperial Iranian Air Force, had been sent to the US for pilot training and was not in Iran when the revolution erupted in 1979. His father was also abroad at the time undergoing cancer treatment when Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini returned to Iran with Western backing and assumed leadership to the protest movement, quickly transforming it into a successful revolution. After that revolution and following his father's death from terminal cancer in 1980, Pahlavi proclaimed himself Reza Shah II. However, this proclamation had little effect and was largely ignored. In the intervening years, he has used his high profile in the Western world to campaign for more awareness of human rights abuses and injustices inside Iran. While Pahlavi has lived 50 years outside of Iran and was thus unknown to many inside his home country, the exiled Crown Prince has taken advantage of the power on social media in recent years to make himself more known to the younger generation, releasing videos in Farsi on social media and appearing on Farsi language news channels like Iran International to spread a nationalistic message of opposition to the Islamic Republic's regime. Despite calls by some in the Iranian opposition for a restoring of the monarchy. Pahlavi has instead focused on a message of uniting Iranians around the overthrowing of the Islamic Republic, saying the Iranian people should decide their future in a public referendum. For most of the younger generation born after the Islamic Revolution, Pahlavi has become a symbol of a time before the Islamic Republic. While those who remember his father's rule are few, the recent brutal crackdowns and protests over the last decade, along with the decades of public executions, have cast the Pahlavi monarchy in a more favourable light to many. At the same time, few individuals or organisations have achieved the same recognition and status as the Crown Prince, as the people in Iran have increasingly seen the struggle against the regime as a struggle for their own survival. The figure of Reza Pahlavi has become a recognisable figure, one who has consistently spoken out for the Iranian people and to the Iranian people over the past few decades. Pahlavi has also spoken openly about returning to Iran to open relations with the Western world, in particular the United States and Israel. In early 2023, Pahlavi visited Israel for the first time, observing Holocaust Remembrance Day. During his visit, Pahlavi spoke of the biblical relationship between Iran and Israel and expressed his hope that one day Iran and Israel could be joined as friends in a peace agreement called the Cyrus Accords, after the Persian king who granted permission and support to the Jews to return to Jerusalem and rebuild their temple. Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi expressed the views of many in Iran who oppose the Islamic regime, noting that the two countries could benefit each other and the conflict is a result of the Islamic regime, not the desire of the Iranian people. Since then, Pahlavi has continued to call for the international community to support those who oppose the Iranian government, while often displaying calls for the direct military intervention. However, after Israel struck Iran hard during the 12-day Israel-Iran war, Pahlavi called for action to help topple the regime, including giving support to protesters at the time. Pahlavi expressed his desire to help oversee a 100-day transitional period after the fall of the Islamic Republic, reiterating that he hoped to see the establishment of a national and democratic government by the Iranian people and for the Iranian people. So this is who Reza Pahlavi is. I think he's a very different man of his father and would run Iran the right and proper way, and he would be a man of the people, and the people could make the man. I pray that Iran would see freedom and that Reza Pahlavi could be instrumental in that. Would be a really positive thing for the people of Iran who are crying out for freedom. Women, life, freedom. Women, life, freedom is a slogan that was made after the IRGC killed Mahsa Amini for not wearing her headdress properly and showing a bit of hair. God forbid. Shalom, Maranatha, and Hallelujah.